Hello everyone, another quick thrift store finds video and talking about what I've been playing because I beat another game over the weekend. One I knew was going to be fast. I actually did it just in like 2 sittings. But first off, another quick trip to the thrift stores. This morning, only one DVD in the bargain room. I didn't see a single even cheapo Disney VHS tape. There's nothing, very few DVDs, no Blu-rays. Like, it's very light on media. It was very clothing heavy today, so not a whole lot for me there. Jackie Chan's Project A2, and it's one I already own, so this will be going onto the store. Good movie. First Project A is better, but still a pretty good movie. One Goosebumps. This is one of these hardcover monster editions, which this one has the Ghost Next Door, Ghost Beach, and the Barking Ghost. So all the ghost-themed ones from the original run. And then we have The Oracle Betrayed, Book 1 of the Oracle Prophecies. And a few other kids' books here, Beasts of Olympus, Hounds of Hades, and then Fairy Tale Reform School, Flunked. And two of these, The Fire Eternal and The Fire Within. Some more scholastic stuff. It's always, things we pick up when they're in good position. And this was interesting because I read this book as a kid, and I completely forgot it existed until I saw this cover. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, and I just remembered the entire book. For some reason, I never encountered it again, I guess, whatever, but it's a Newbery Award winner, popular book, The Whipping Boy. I remember reading this as a kid, and since I saw the cover, I'm like, holy crap, I recall that. So, definitely a different cover than what I had as a kid, but that was it for the bargain room, and then into the main room. Very little changed around, but I did find a few manga in with the just kind of general fiction. Attack on Titan, Volume 1, and then Volumes 1 and 2, I believe, yes, Volumes 1 and 2 of Eerie Query. So 3 manga worth popping in there for a couple of seconds. And then on to what I've been playing, because that was it. Just another quick little side trip to a thrift store. I try to get a couple of those in a week if I can. Now, what I've been playing, I finally got the third and final version of what has become one of my absolute favorite games. It's ridiculous. Amanda makes fun of me all the time, but I love it. I recently picked up the 3DS version of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I love this game. I've talked about it before. It was one of the first games that I played on the Wii U, and absolutely loved it there, and I sang up its praises on that. And then same thing, got it on the Switch, loved it, and I beat it several times on both platforms over the last few years that I've had it. I don't even remember, probably between these 3 versions, I might have beaten it like 10 times. Between the Wii U several times and the Switch a whole bunch of times. Talked all about those, and then finally played the 3DS version. Obviously, between the 3, something that started off on a console and then moved to another console, the Switch. This 3DS version is obviously going to be inferior than its big brothers here, these console counterparts. On a technical level, it's obviously going to be inferior. You know that going in, but. In speaking of it just in those terms, it is very impressive. The difference between playing the 3DS version visually and as far as just overall technical performance, between that and the Switch, the gap is not as wide as I would have thought. Obviously this is far superior, but it is not by as much as I had assumed going in. This is actually a ridiculously good port of the game to the 3DS. It looks fantastic, shockingly good, and it plays really, really well. I had no performance issues whatsoever. It's really good. So if you don't, have a Switch or a Wii U and you're curious about this game, don't think that you are getting just this super underperforming lesser version, because it really isn't. It's really good, and everything in here, this is, everything's included. This is comparable to the Switch version, as it has as you can see here on the sticker, the extra levels are from Mario Odyssey, whereas it was from Mario 3D World on the Wii U version. So this is still, the bonus levels in this version are still unique to this version, because they changed those then for these releases. And so it plays a lot like playing the Switch version in handheld mode. It's a lot like that. Of course, there's some little differences, and it's two screens instead of one, and you have to get used to that. But it really plays a lot like just a lesser version of the Switch copy, and it was great. I only had a few little issues more because of I just find it a little bit harder to control on the 3DS versus the Switch and using this stylus and whatever. You don't necessarily have to for everything, kind of touchpad it, but overall, like, it was just a little bit of a preference rather than performance issues. The one thing that I really hated, which I've encountered in several 3DS games over the years, and it just, I don't know who thought of this and why it's been used so many times, is horrible. The whole blowing into the microphone thing to accomplish things. It's not super frequent, but there are platforms in this that have fans underneath to raise up or down or to slide across the screen, and in this version you have to blow into the 3DS to get it to happen. It's so stupid. I hate when they make you do that. I only encountered a handful of other games, and again, it was the same as this, where it was usually like a gimmick that happened a couple times. I've never played a game where it was a main mechanic, but it's such a stupid idea. That really was obnoxious. I hated that. That is really the only thing, like little annoyances or things that are just preference to where, I don't use the 3DS as much as I used to. As far as handhelds, like it's probably, if you include the Switch in that category, maybe my third or fourth most used handheld overall. So it's just really preference, but otherwise, no performance issues. Looks great. It's fantastic. It's obviously going to be, visually the lesser of the three versions, but don't think that this is just, a cop-out, a crap port shoved on here. It's worth getting. It's the full experience, a lot of fun, so grab this game. And if you've never played it before and you have all the Nintendo systems, or you're a huge Nintendo fan, pick up any version, doesn't matter. They're all good. This is a fantastic game. I absolutely love all three versions, and I'll be playing all three of them again at some point.